The village of Kyanda clung to a crescent of red-brown earth where papyrus reeds waved like green flags along Lake Victoria's shore. Children raced between fishing canoes, their shouts mingling with the slap of water on hulls. None of them ran faster or grew restless sooner than 8-year-old Lumo. He leapt over nets, skipped across rocks, and finished errands before elders finished sentences. Kyanda loved his sparkle, yet sighed at his impatience. Each year, the village held a fish-weaving festival. Whoever fashioned the strongest basket from swamp reeds earned the first pick of the season's catch. Lumo had never won. He tied knots too quickly, snapped stalks in half, and abandoned half-made baskets the moment they twisted wrong. But this year, he declared, "I will bring home the winning basket, even if the reeds sprout legs and run." His grandmother chuckled, tying back her gray braids. "Speed is a fine goat, Lumo," she said, "but patience is the shepherd who keeps it from wandering." Festival Day loomed 3 dawns away. The best reeds grew on Ukariwi Point, a marshy tongue of land that jutted into the lake and sank beneath mist each morning. Few children bothered trekking that far, but Lumo believed the strongest baskets began with the toughest reeds. So, at sunrise, he snatched a knife and a coil of sisal twine and dashed along the shoreline path, sandals flicking sand like tiny sparks. Wind rattled the papyrus walls of the marsh. Lumo plunged in, hacking at the first reed he saw. Crack! The stalk splintered. He grabbed another. Snap! Another. Frustration bubbled hotter than the midday sun. He kicked the mud and yelled, "Why won't you bend for me?" A soft voice answered, slow as a lullaby, "Because you have not listened to their rhythm." Lumo spun around. On a mossy stone sat a gold-shelled snail, no bigger than his thumb. Its shell shimmered with swirling patterns that caught the light like fish scales. 2 thin feelers bobbed politely. "You can talk?" Lumo gasped. "I can share," said the snail, voice as smooth as shoreline clay. "I am Kelela, keeper of the reed rhythm. Those who rush hear only crack and snap. Those who wait hear the whisper that tells where to cut." Lumo laughed. "A whisper from a reed?" "Yes, everything whispers, if you're still enough," Kelela replied, inching forward. "Carry me, and I will guide you to the reeds that bend without breaking. But you must match my pace. Slow and steady." Lumo glanced at the sun sailing overhead. "I haven't time to crawl like a pebble," he muttered. Yet curiosity tugged harder than haste. He scooped up the snail, its shell warm against his palm, and agreed, though silently promising himself he could quicken once the creature pointed the way. They entered deeper marsh, where the water cooled their ankles. Kelela hummed, a low, even vibration. Each note seemed to coax hidden stepping stones from beneath the murk. Lumo stepped where the snail's glow lingered, marveling as mud hardened into safe footing. But soon the humming slowed further. Lumo's legs twitched. "This is taking ages," he groaned, lunging ahead to a clump of thick reeds. He slashed one, and the blade ricocheted into the water. Another crack echoed. The reed hung limp, fibers useless for weaving. Kelela sighed, tiny mouth making a circle of disappointment. Stones reveal themselves in their own time, and reeds share strength only with patient hands. Embarrassed, Lumo brushed mud from his knees and returned to the glowing path, now barely visible. He waited for the next hum, stepping only when the snail's shell vibrated. Minute by minute, the marsh opened. Kingfishers flashed blue, dragonflies stitched silver arcs above the water, and somewhere a hippo snorted thunderously. Yet Lumo kept Kelela's pace. At last, the humming ceased near a cluster of pale green reeds swaying together like siblings. "Cut here At the nodding point, when the breeze pauses, the snail instructed. Lumo held his breath, watched the leaves shiver, then still. Slice. The reed parted cleanly, oozing sweet sap. One by one, he harvested a bundle, none broken, none frayed. Pride fluttered in his chest. Sunlight tilted west. "We should hurry back," Lumo said, loading reeds over his shoulder, but clouds had stacked over the lake, purple and tall. Wind hissed. Waves slapped reeds with impatient hands. Lumo's old impatience flared. "Let's run," he urged. Kelela tucked deeper into her shell. Storms, like stories, unfold in chapters. If we wait here beneath the tamarind tree, the wind will tire, and the path will shine again. Lightning crackled farther out. Lumo eyed the dark mouth of the storm and the reeds on his back. He paced, kicked pebbles, and muttered jokes to himself. Minutes stretched. Finally, he sat, letting grandmother's words drift through memory with the rain. Speed is a fine goat, but patience is the shepherd. He stroked the snail's shell and listened. Raindrops softened the air, then thinned. A pale patch of sky reappeared. Kelela emerged. Now, she pulsed a warm light that sketched a glowing trail along the shore, away from churning waves. Lumo followed, carefully, until familiar canoes bobbed in Kyanda's cove. Villagers, worried by the storm, hurried to meet him. At their feet, the snail's light faded. Only then did Lumo realize her shell's glow had guided not just him, but the fishermen steering home behind him. That night, by lantern light, Lumo soaked his reeds just long enough to keep them supple, then set to work. Every urge to rush met the memory of snapping stalks, and he slowed, aligning each strand. He hummed Kelela's rhythm, low, low, pause, low. The basket widened smoothly beneath his fingers, round as the moon climbing the sky. Festival morning dawned bright. Children carried baskets of all shapes to the judging canopy. Some were lopsided, others, too brittle from hurried weaving, crumbled when the testers filled them with wet stones. Lumo's basket was last. He stepped forward, heart hammering. Judges poured stones until the basket bulged. Still, it held. They added lake water until it sloshed over the rim. The basket held. A cheer rose like a flock of gulls. Grandmother hugged him tightly. "You braided more than reeds, child. You braided time into each twist." Lumo searched the shoreline until he spotted Kelela basking on a warm rock. He knelt. "Thank you, friend." The snail's feelers twitched. "Patience and perseverance carried you. I only hummed reminders." Her shell gleamed brighter than ever, then dimmed to an ordinary snail's sheen, as if the magic had slipped inside Lumo instead. Weeks later, whenever chores felt endless or games turned frustrating, the children of Kyanda found Lumo calm, steady, even amused by small delays. When asked why, he merely smiled and said he was listening for whispers. Though he never revealed they belonged to reeds, stones, and a wise little snail who once taught him to wait for paths that appear only when feet slow down enough to see them. The end.